It was Charles who called us the Parasites. The way he said it was surprising and sudden. He was one of those quiet, reserved sort of men, not given to talking much or stating his opinion, unless upon the most ordinary facts of day by day, so that his outburst, coming as it did towards the end of the long, wet Sunday afternoon, when we had none of us done anything but read the papers and yawn and stretch before the fire, had the force of an explosion. We were all sitting in the long, low room at Farthing's, darker than usual because of the rain. The French windows gave very little light, chopped as they were in small square panes that added to the beauty of the house from without, but inside had all the appearance of prison bars, oddly depressing. The grandfather clock in the corner ticked slowly and unevenly. Now and again it gave a little cough, hesitating momentarily like an old man with asthma, then ploughed on again with quiet insistence. The fire in the basket grate had sunk rather low. The mixture of coke and coal had caked in a solid lump, giving no warmth, and the logs that had been flung carelessly on top earlier in the afternoon smouldered in dull fashion, needing the bellows to coax them into life. The papers were strewn about the floor, and the empty cardboard covers of gramophone records were amongst them, along with a cushion that had fallen from the sofa. These things may have added to Charles's irritation. He was an orderly man with a methodical mind, and looking back now with the realization that his mind was at that time labouring under heavy strain, that he had, in fact, reached a point where it was imperative that he should make up his mind about the future and come to a decision, it is understandable that these little things, the untidiness of the room, the casual, careless, sprawling atmosphere which pervaded the whole house when Maria came for the weekend, and which he had endured now for so many months and years, acted as the first spark to fan the boiling resentment into flame. Maria lay, as she always lay, stretched out upon the sofa. Her eyes were closed, her usual defence against attack from any quarter, so that people who did not know her thought she slept, that she was tired after a long week in London, that she needed rest. Her right hand, with Niall's ring upon the third finger, drooped in weary fashion over the side of the sofa, the fingertips touching the floor. Charles must have seen it from where he sat, in his deep armchair opposite the sofa, and although he had seen and known the ring for as long as he had known Maria, accepting it in the first place as he would have done any personal belonging of hers, dating possibly from childhood days, like a comb, a bracelet, worn from routine without sentiment. Yet the sight of it now, the pale aquamarine stone, clinging tightly to the third finger, so valueless and paltry compared to the sapphire engagement ring that he himself had given her, and the wedding ring too, both of which she was always leaving about on the wash-basin, and forgetting, may have served as further fuel to his smouldering anger. He would know, too, that Maria was not sleeping. The play she had been reading was thrown aside. The pages were already crumpled, and one of them torn. The puppy had been allowed to play with it, and there was the smear of a sticky sweet dropped by one of the children on the cover. During the next week or so, the play would be returned to the owner, with the usual note from Maria scribbled in her careless handwriting, or typed on the indifferent machine she had bought at a junk sale years ago. Much as I liked your play, which I found extremely interesting, and which I am sure will be a great success, I don't somehow feel that I should be quite right, or really what you want in the part of Rita.